can I ask a question? So
Yeah.
Destiny's was coming later. He's backstage right now. I wanted to ask permission before. If it's okay, or would you rather?
Yeah, I don't
Are
care.
you sure?
Yeah, bring them on.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Haas, I know you
Yeah, I
guys
wanted to
don't.
ask Cosmo.
I don't
Me
care.
and
Yeah,
Destiny
sure.
are best
Okay.
friends now, so.
All right. Hi, Destiny.
Hey! Hey, you!
I
How are
figured
you guys doing
Nick could
tonight?
mod a debate between Oz and Destiny.
Yeah, I'll
At least-
moderate. Hey, best friend. I'll try not to be biased. I don't know, though. Haas is kind of becoming my best friend now, too.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have a lot in common, huh?
Yeah. We're both epic and
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean,
Both looking
to be
for
honest, I
base
still-
societies free of the deep state, free of the phony liberal Jewish complex. You
Yes.
guys are. What do you think about that, Haas?
I'm not an anti-Semite. You know, I don't really have an issue with.
Oh,
Jews.
come on. We're not really talking about anti-Semitism. Just the idea, the fierce allegiance.
No. I mean,
I
okay. Legitimately, I'm going to tell you the truth. I do not think that
Oh,
Jews
no.
control America. I don't.
Boo!
No, I don't.
Boo!
I really don't.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I think it's time to be Anglo-pilled, right? Because
Oh.
if you look at the financial institutions that are in control,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at like these actual networks, like you mentioned it, the City of London. I mean, I don't think that. I just don't. It's not my opinion.
I agree. There's a lot of blame to go around. I think the Anglos share a lot of it. But me and Destiny are based because we're both Hispanic. The Anglos, Jews, whatever. It will be us Hispanics that will reconquer America, right? Destiny, you and me.
Absolutely. We get in there, we make friends and babies with everybody, and we just have that ability to just get to where we need to be.
It
And
is.
then we're like stealth.
reality.
Nobody knows who we are in society, right? Unless they
Yeah.
say our last names. Otherwise,
Except for our last names,
yeah,
dead
we get to
giveaway.
travel. Yeah.
Haas, what are you? What's your background? Are you Arab or
Yeah, just Arab.
based? Okay, awesome. Are you
Yeah.
Muslim?
I'm kind of like non-practicing, so I guess culturally, I guess that's a thing. But yeah, pretty Americanized.
Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, the Destiny guy, I can't really tell. Like, sometimes does he actually work for the government, or does he just kiss the establishment's ass
Okay,
for
it's not.
free?
I don't work for the government. Okay, they just pay me every month not to talk about certain things. All right, there's a difference. Okay.
Destiny, I'm loving that red
I
shirt.
do feel like these people kind of do have to have a handler, though. Like, can you really just do that for free, for like just out of your own plain, like individual?
I wonder.
You know what I mean?
I watch your stream. I'm like, who's funding this crazy dude? But
We're all such good friends.
Yeah, so
I
Nick,
like
you're modding it.
I like Destiny. How you really are the mascot of this show. I mean, you got the memo. It's this red theme, politically provoked. It's all red, and you've come on with this delightful red shirt.
what is the red? The brown red? Is there like a meme?
No,
I'm
I
kind
no,
of caught up on that.
no political subtext. I'm just saying it just fits the format. It's a red theme. The color theme of this show is red, and you've sort of as a mascot brought this wonderful red shirt. Just a compliment. No dog whistle. No anti-Semitic dog whistle there. Just
Okay, cool. Thanks.
pointing
Just
it
checking.
out. Yeah. So hey, so what are you up to, pal? Bestie?
Brittany signed me up to be here tonight for some fucking reason, and I'm just playing video games.
Well, you
you know?
came a little bit early, but it's okay.
Well, I heard my two good friends talking with each other. It was just interesting to see them share so much in common.
Yeah. So what's the beef between you guys? Let me try and moderate this.
See, Destiny, he kind of
Yeah.
signals anti-establishment because he's not politically correct.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But
He says,
I
nigga.
think at the core, Destiny's pretty much an edgy leftist, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Leftist
So
or liberal? What do you mean by leftist there?
He started to have a really big problem with me because I was covering the Russia stuff, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is dangerous misinformation." All of a sudden he went full leftist, full kind of like his community was like, "Oh, we got to deplatform this guy. This is really dangerous." And he does the work of the status quo for free, and
So,
he
how's
just
this
happened
gonna
to get really butthurt about it.
Yeah, Destiny, what do you
When
have to
the
say to that?
Russia-Ukraine
How would you
conflict.
respond?
I don't know how much you've heard. So Haas has kind of like his political theory. Haas just like personally hates me because I made a whole bunch of short jokes about it.
Well,
And
hey,
he's
we're
like,
all short here. Okay, we're
yeah,
all
but
short
but
here.
the problem is he has a really hard time like dealing with it. So basically,
No,
I'll tweet out
it's
about
Stalin
it-
was short. Our
no, no.
hero, Stalin, was 5
Yeah,
steps.
no. I mean, the issue was that we were having a pretty serious debate about the Russia-Ukraine thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And he started beginning the insult battle, right? And then like, let me explain it this way, right? If I were to just have ignored it, nobody would have focused on the debate. They would have just focused on the insult. So it's like, you know, you gotta address the nonsense when it's being brought in, apparently. But I would have preferred to just have a debate about Russia and
So
Ukraine.
the real backstory is we were gonna have a big 2-on-2 debate, and do you know who Zerka is?
No.
Okay, there's another Twitch streamer called Zerka, and it was me and I think it was Dylan Burns versus Haas and another guy called Jackson Hinkle. And so Zerka tells Haas, "Hey, these guys don't respect you. You got to get loud, otherwise these guys aren't going to show you any respect." So, like in the middle of our relatively, boring milquetoast debate, Haas starts losing it. He starts like screaming, and as he starts to get progressively more upset, my chat starts feeding me like insults, so like AK 4'7" and shit. I start calling him names, and we basically just have this like 2-hour debate where he's like screaming, calling me a cuckloid, just a whole bunch of like crazy, nasty stuff, that's above, the platform that we're on right now, of course. But that's essentially since then.
Wait, why are you offended by being called a cuck? I mean, like, isn't that
I never
what
said
you
I'm
are?
It's a fair question. It's a fair
Yeah,
question.
like,
Yeah, no,
mean,
I thought it was
isn't
really
that
funny.
that's open public information?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
are
is.
you not one?
Not technically. I don't know if you know what that word means, but
Why
yeah,
are
Non
you?
monogamous,
Hold on,
polyamorous,
wait,
all right?
hold
it
on,
basically just devolved into Haas like screaming at me for
Wait,
like,
wait, hold on.
an
I
hour.
want
It's a really good video if you ever want to go look
if
up.
hold on, if I may. I mean, how are you not a cuck?
Well,
Valid question.
are you talking about like the actual like what the word means or like what you
Well, like
want?
you're married to someone who you allow to sleep with other men. So I
Wait,
mean,
you're married, Destiny?
Yeah, we got married.
You got remarried?
Yeah, remarried. Time. That's true.
Or double married, twice married.
Twice married. Yeah, you know how us Catholics do. Got to
Hey,
keep
you're
making
not
the babies.
Catholic.
Well, I grew up Catholic.
Are you an atheist? Do you believe in
I'm
God?
gonna reveal something here, okay? I'm gonna reveal
Believe in
something
God?
I've never said before. I did not get my last divorce annulled, my marriage annulled, so don't tell the Pope. I think that's a big no-no in the Catholic Church.
You're still
supposed to do
married
that.
then.
Yeah, but according to Jesus, I am. Well,
Are
Catholic
you?
people.
Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God?
No, fuck no.
Boo! Why not, Destiny?
Because it's
Come on
boring.
now.
Okay, listen, boring answers to complex questions are just not entertaining to me. Kind of like you guys over
Well,
here.
it's kind of a yes or no.
Dreaming about the deep state controlling all the societal problems, and that's the more exciting thing.
They control Vosh's Burger King diet by funding it. My tax dollars are funding Impossible Whoppers for Vosh. Well, Destiny, what were we talking about before this fierce debate about the situation?
Yeah, I don't think I was really yelling. I think I just was turning my gain up really high.
Yeah, true. That did happen.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's funny. I think it's funny when people turn their gain up and yell.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Honestly,
funny.
Everyone in my chat was telling me, they were like, "Oh, they're lowering your volume. They're lowering." I was like, "Okay, I know how they do that." So I went in my Windows settings and I went to the sound. I just turned it up all the way. And I'm like, "Okay, now we'll be on a level playing field." But I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Wow, I was quite loud." But
that was a takeaway from that?
Yeah, I mean,
how many times did you have to unmute yourself in that conversation because the moderator kept trying to mute you while you were screaming at us? Would you say it was like more than 100 times, or?
I mean, it wasn't really that hard. I mean, I don't really know why there had to be a moderator there in the first place.
It's a good question. Honest. It seems like they weren't able to keep you quiet. So yeah.
It's true. They can't handle Haas. Haas is a real
based
actual
American. Not one of these.
I think it's pretty clear though.
Except that he's not white. That's the only. No, I'm kidding. He's real American.
No. I mean, I'm capable of having like a civil conversation, but like when you start the insult thing, you're giving me the green card. And
it's true. It's the ad homs. Destiny, you have a real problem with those ad homs. Got to watch the ad homs. Serious debate.
I can't help it sometimes. You
got to watch those N words and ad homs. Such a handful.
Destiny, so wait, Nick. Yeah, I want to ask you something because this is something I think about a lot too. Is Destiny going to keep up this kind of like liberal thing, or what do you think is going to come of like because I don't know. I mean, so like in the cultural end, I think the cuck thing is pretty big, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to become based when you've got that going for you. But I kind of wonder, like, is this a new kind of like experiment where it's like you have these edgy liberals who are like, they defend everything the status quo says, they like fight the info war of the deep state or whatever, but they just do it in a dirty way, right? Like, is he going to become right wing, or is he going to stay? Is it going to be like this new thing of like edgy liberal? And I always think about, what do you think?
I think he will absolutely become red pilled and a reactionary, and I'd see him as my future apprentice. It's sort of like when Palpatine said, "I have an apprentice far younger and more power." Except Destiny's quite old in comparison to me. But I see him as sort of this future right-wing killing machine, like a right-wing Wolfenstein killing robot who will destroy all liberals in his path. I don't know. The thing is, on a serious note, I think the big difference is that he's not religious. I think that, and I tend to notice this, there is crossover. There's some Destiny fans that become Groypers. I think there are some Groypers that become Destiny fans. And I think the real dividing line is religion. I tend to find the people most susceptible to so-called liberalism are the people that are not religious. And I think that plays a big part in why people are liberal is they're averse to religion. And I think a lot of that is bound up actually in sex. I think what makes a lot of people atheist is that they have sort of deviant sexual situation, and it's hard to sort of accept morality if your lifestyle is built on sin, is built on maybe that would impose guilt. So I think that's why it's going to be tricky for Destiny, because he's got sort of like a sexual situation, and I think that. But I don't want to. He's probably got good reasons for being an atheist, maybe other than that. What do you think about that, Destiny? What do you think about all that?
I think it's pretty sad that a lot of people define I think that political positions are very far downstream moral positions. So when I listen to either you or other lefties or Haas or anybody else try to say, like, I think Destiny's going to become this thing, I don't know if that speaks more to me or to the people saying it, that you would assume that my political positions are going to be so quick to change because of either a disagreement I have with somebody or some platform I get banned from. My political positions don't come from the platform that I'm on. They don't come from the people that I talk to, and they don't come from who hates me at any particular point in time. So, but I guess we'll see.
We're going to destroy you with facts and logic.
There is something I always wanted to say. Well, you did get banned, so I couldn't confront you with this. But I don't think you're right, because you say things like, the left. I liked the left back in like 2016 or 2010 or whatever, right? And then I think to myself, and I'm like, wait a second, where's your line? Because aren't a lot of conservatives today, right? They're like, oh yeah, I liked society. They would be considered liberals in 1990 or 1980 or 1950. Like, where do you draw the line? Because, I kind of see where Nick's coming from, where it is possible you could become right wing. But I also do think it's possible there's this like new Frankenstein edgy liberal ideology, Reddit, dark Reddit, I guess. We got dark MAGA and maybe dark Reddit.
Dark Reddit.
yeah. Like, I think,
dark.
I don't know. I myself, I don't know. I don't know what to expect or predict, but this idea that, I just hold to my principles and I've never changed. I mean, we all know that's bullshit, Justin. You're going to change somehow, right? The question is how.
You must choose. Sort of like when Anakin as Count Dooku between the two lightsabers, symbolically, choosing good or evil. What's it going to be? You're going to embrace dark Reddit, or are you going to embrace total national socialism and an Aryan victory? That's a joke, by the way. That's a total joke. I'm being sarcastic, but it's true. But will you embrace the side of God and our glorious destiny?
I don't think I'm going to switch over to being religious anytime soon. But
we'll pray for your conversion. Sincerely.
Nick, do you think anyone could really be like a liberal who's like passionate about politics like Destiny is, and like somehow, do you think he's an atheist, or do you think maybe he's just worshiping the wrong? You know what I mean by that? Like, maybe he's worshiping the guy below and not the one above.
I think he's just a materialist. I think that that's a philosophical position. I think he doesn't believe in the supernatural, because he's all about, you have a source for that, you have a source for that. Academic. Well, I have a source from 2010. And it's like, but so it's a rejection of the supernatural. But I think my position on this is I just believe in the soul. I believe in the soul. I believe in the immaterial, and so that makes me, makes me different on that fundamental level. Before you get into like theism or monotheism or Christianity, it's just Destiny. That's a good question. Do you believe in the immaterial or only the material?
I'm like a soft dualist. There's some questions around consciousness that are pretty hard to get into if you're strictly a materialist. But I mean, like compared to like a religious person, yeah, I'm a hardcore materialist.
Well, so what does that mean? Do you think we have something like a soul? Do you think there's a ghost in the machine?
No, I don't.
No, you
like
think
that.
we're all
that's silly,
chemical processes?
Yeah, basically.
My position on that might interest you. I do consider myself a materialist, but it's a dialectical materialist.
So your position absolutely does not interest me, but thank you
for taking
the opportunity to. Well, you were talking to me, but it's
no. You can continue playing your video games.
Don't worry.
Right now. So to me, I think religion is correct when it talks about a soul and all that kind of stuff, but that's referring to something that's real, right? Like a soul that's how the chemicals are organized. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think it's just completely separate from the world. I think our world, here's what I put it. There is no material in the first place. Like what we call the material world is itself animated with soul and with purpose and with meaning, So the way I look at it is that a guy like Destiny doesn't really, it's not that he's only a materialist. I think it's that he doesn't believe there's any meaning in the world. He only thinks meaning is like coming from a man-made institution or an axiom or like logic or something. And I think that's where the nihilism and the kind of degen shit comes from, how can you really, like, put it this way, like, how could a man be a cuck unless they like convince themselves in this convoluted way that like, oh yeah, well, morality or being a dignified person comes from logic and axioms and not from something real and out there and, beyond what we think is right and wrong. You know what I mean?
It's true. I think he's nihilistic. I think it's a nihilistic sort of hedonistic worldview. I mean, Destiny, these people believe that you're right. The meaning is added on, through man's it's constructed, right, by society or by man. But no, I think the world is meaningful. I don't know how you would prove that. I guess it's just sort of like a temperamental disposition. I mean, Destiny, don't you see a bigger story? Don't you see a bigger plan? Don't you see meaning in the world, or do you think that everything is meaningless?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's meaningless, but I'd say the meaning is human imposed, of course. I don't think there's meaning naturally in the universe and we just discover it.
So so if humans come from the universe,
I'm sorry, I was talking to Fuentes there.
Yeah, how does? Well, are you?
He's such.
Would you like me not to?
He's such a scamp.
Yeah, I don't. I hope you're not upset about the cuck thing. I mean, I thought it was public information. Like, I didn't want to expose you or anything.
All right, now quit bullying. Okay. That's my buddy.
If the universe if people came from the universe, is what the Reddit people say, right?
Right. Stardust.
And people created meaning. I mean, somewhere along there, meaning has to come from something that's not human, right?
Why?
Because, like, where did people come from?
You don't need meaning to create people. We can literally go create people right now, right?
All right, what is meaning?
You tell me. You're the one that says it exists. I don't believe that meaning in the sense that you're talking about is.
I think meaning ultimately has its reference in something absolute. So when we talk about meaning, like, what is the meaning of this? It's pointing to something that's not it, right? Like, what is the meaning of the world? Well, it's not the world itself. It's something beyond the world, right? And ultimately, I do think that is an absolute. Another word for that, you can call that God, the divine, but I don't know how you can have a sense of meaning without that, without an absolute.
Is it a talent to speak for so long and say so little? I'm asking you a pretty simple question. I don't know if you can actually. I don't know if you can actually. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Like, what is meaning? Why does meaning have to exist for anything else to exist? What is meaning? Can you answer that without like rambling?
Yeah, I just told you.
Incoherently for like. Okay, yeah, so you can.
Yeah, meaning is when something's cause and purpose is not itself.
What you're begging the question? What is purpose? Why does purpose have to exist?
Sort of directedness. I mean, that's the Aristotelian view, is that things have causes, and this is philosophical language. I haven't read this stuff in years, so I'm not pretending to be the expert, but it's directed. We're set in motion towards something. There is a purpose. There's a why.
Which is like a fun thought, but there's no true reason to believe that's a true real fact of the.
Why not? Why isn't there a reason to believe that? Because here's
there isn't. We don't need a reason to explain anything that happens, right?
Sure. Well, yeah, we actually do. I mean, if people have an appetite, I think, for meaning. People have an
appetite for heroin. Who cares, right? We have receptors in our brain for cannabis, for pornography. Like the very naturalistic to assume that just because a human desires something, it either ought to exist or ought to be considered a good thing. Like
it's not about ought. I think what Haas is saying is that when we have consciousness and when we have information and we have this appetite for meaning and we have this human tendency to create meaning or project meaning or search for meaning. The question is, where do these things arise from? If man comes from the universe, where then do these products of man come from? If that's not in the sort of fundamental essence of the universe. And to me, it's like, I don't think that could be explained by evolutionary biology, because that's really the competing thesis.
Right? It could be that people that search for meaning and take care of their families and do that tend to live longer than people that don't, right?
I just think that's such a tenuous.
It sounds bad. It feels bad. That's like it's a thing that just feels bad. So it's like, but that's not a good enough reason.
No, I disagree. I don't think it's because it feels bad. Because atheists they say, well, I'm not saying you're saying this. I'm saying atheists say this. Atheists will say, I think it's brave to believe in nothing because it's terrifying and all this kind of stuff. I don't think it's about comfort or discomfort. I'm equally willing to believe that there is nothing, or that I think they're both terrifying. I think it's terrifying to think of a final judgment and that everything means everything. I also think it's equally terrifying that everything means nothing. I'm scared by the prospect of both. Because, people say religion brings comfort. I think it's actually a terrifying prospect, because, the idea that there's an infinite God and there's a moral God. And so we make moral decisions. An immoral act offends an infinite God infinitely. And if you're religious, you believe you face a final judgment and you're judged for everything you've done and said. Again, before an
okay, hold on. This is a massive cope.
It's not. No, I'm explaining. No, you understand what I'm saying. I'm explaining that it's a terrifying. That's a terrifying prospect. No. Hell is You don't think that hell is terrifying?
No.
Why is hell not terrifying?
If you actually study Scripture, you know that God is an all-loving God. If you're Catholic, you go through sacraments to cleanse yourself of original sin, to accept your place, and aside. God, when you finally die, like there's all sorts of ways to redeem yourself from sin. Like there's all sorts of order.
You understand, but this isn't addressing the fundamental point. The fundamental
but
point
I'm just saying that like the idea that the average religious person's engagement with religion is not one of terrifying fear.
But we're not talking about the average person. We're talking about the ontological position. We're talking about, you're saying that like, well, you're saying that you don't believe that evolutionary biology isn't a good explanation. You just think it's an uncomfortable explanation. I'm saying they're both uncomfortable.
I never said that.
I'm saying
I think anything could be uncomfortable. Sure. It's like the question of, do aliens exist, right?
Yeah.
Whether the answer is yes or no, both of those are pretty
But the point is,
I'm not going to use the comfort to like justify or take away from some position. That would be
and that's what I'm saying, though, is I don't think that evolutionary biology is adequate. Not that it's not comfortable. It's just I don't think it's adequate. I think it's very theoretical to say, and it's sort of like filling in the blanks. How do we get consciousness? How do we get morality? How do we get desire for meaning? Well, maybe the fish, when they crawled on the land and became people,
but like anything
live longer. Like
it's so boring to do, because essentially you're playing into the God of the gaps on the other thing, right? So like you laugh because I say it's a fish crawling out of the water, and I laugh at you because you think there's a spooky man in the sky watching you jerk off and he's going to send you to hell for it, right? At the end of the day, like all of this stuff is ultimately epistemically circular at its very root. I can't really prove that something happened evolutionarily because the genes wanted us to take care of our families any more than you can prove that God tells us to watch watch after our brothers and sisters, right? Like there's
But-
some degree of faith at the end of the day in both of these. The only scary thing is if you let that like foundational belief shape how you function in the real world. So if people are like not sending their kids to a hospital because they've got like some devout religious belief, then I think that's probably a bad thing. Or if atheists are running around murdering everybody because they think that they're free of judgment, that's probably a bad thing too.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. That's what I'm trying to say is that to accept this evolutionary, psychology view, I think it's extreme. That's what I'm saying. It has to be taken on faith. It's a very weak argument, and then so the question remains: well, how then did we get consciousness? I don't think there is that's the original question is about materialism. It's not about spooky man in the sky. It's about is there a material and is there an immaterial world? And what I'm saying is I don't think there's a material explanation for these kinds of things, for meaning, for morality, for any of that. And you have to answer again, where then does it come from materially? Like you just said, it has to be taken on something like faith. It has to be taken on a faith in some kind of postulate. Oh, well, maybe this is how it evolved from matter. And I'm saying, yeah, that's a very weak position. So the question then remains, well, how do we have consciousness? I think that consciousness is fundamental. It's fundamental.
Yeah, that's
part of the
great
universe.
that you think that, but you have no reason to think that, right?
Why
That,
not?
like the only difference is at the very least the atheist is honest about the extent of their knowledge. I'll honestly tell you, I don't know where consciousness comes from. It seems to be some process that arises from the brain, but it's not like we can see it. If consciousness existed in some other place, I wouldn't be able to show it to you, right? So that's a challenge to my physicalist
So what
or
is
materialist.
consciousness?
Sorry, hold on, I'm talking to Nick right now. That's a challenge to like my like very physical interpretation of the world, and I understand that. But I'll be honest about the limits
Go
of my
ahead and
knowledge there.
define consciousness.
But the challenge, though, is that when talking to a religious person, they seem to overstate their knowledge about the world. Just because you have a book or a guy or a spooky dude in the air that you claim gives you all the answers doesn't make it so. And at the very least, I'll be honest that, like, I don't know, I can't give you a good answer about where consciousness comes from instead of pretending that I have that knowledge.
Well, but that's the point of this inquiry. This inquiry, we're starting off from a foundation. I'm not trying to, in this case, argue like Christianity or whatever. I'm saying we're talking about the material versus the immaterial, not religion, not whatever. We're arguing about these things. And so, I mean, are you at least? So you're saying you don't know? I mean, are you open then to the idea that there is an immaterial, that there is, there are shades?
Yeah,
reality.
you have to be, right? Necessarily, if you're an honest interlocutor, right? I have to say, of course, there could be something immaterial.
But you say you have to, like you with resignation. Well, I have to say that. Aren't you curious about this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm super curious. There's tons of things, right? Why did life start? What is consciousness? Of course, there's a ton of but the investigations that religious people make are wholly boring and completely unsatisfying.
So as opposed to the investigations of taking psychedelics and drugs and shit.
Based. So true. That's so true.
You talk about religious investigations being boring. No, psychedelics are fucking boring. Like religious hermeneutic of actually
have you done psychedelics
scripture.
Before?
Actually, scripture and
have you done psychedelics before?
Religious literature is actually
so the answer is no. I was Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I went to a Jesuit high school and Catholic grade school. I can speak about religious experience. I don't think you can say anything about drugs until you've tried them.
Hold on.
I've never tried.
Hold on. What you don't understand is that
no. You literally don't understand. You don't have the qualia of trying.
Yes, I did, Destiny, because I used to also be a kind of like atheist liberal too, and I did.
What does atheist liberal have to do with doing psychedelics?
Because I've taken psychedelics before.
Which ones?
Mushrooms and LSD.
How
once
much
each? And I can tell you, there's nothing.
Wait, how much?
There.
How much? I'm curious.
There's absolutely
you have no idea what you're talking
there.
about. You're just making shit up, dude. Like, I know you.
What am I making up?
You haven't tried any of these before, which is fine, but
hold on, wait.
I've never done drugs.
Hold on, wait. How do you know I've never tried mushrooms?
Because I can tell by the way that you speak about it. Originally, you didn't want to say it. When I asked you how much you did, you don't have an answer.
Okay, the reason I didn't want to say it is it's a bad
rambling. You're a demon mom.
Wait, Destiny.
Right
why?
It's a bad role model. I don't want people to.
Hey, I'm the moderator of this.
Normalize it.
I'm the moderator of this.
Mm-hmm. Try to take over, bro. You're in charge.
Thank you, Todd.
Do you both believe in qualia?
Don't know what that means.
I'm sorry. When I say qualia, like if we have like a feeling, nobody really can know what that feels like, right? So Nick, if I ask you like, what does a pillow feel like? You can't really tell me. You could tell me it feels like a pillow, but I have to touch it in order for us to share. We can't communicate a qualia directly. A qualia is just like a sensation or an experience we have, right?
So wait, Destiny, do you think if you
hang on.
If you can't,
I have a question. For Destiny. Yeah. See, it seems like, and this is, I guess, my issue with your whole deal is, you're so quick to sort of debunk and this there's religious people, and I don't know, and yeah, sure, I'm curious, just like I'm curious about some other trivial thing, and it's like, but you're being a little bit evasive. We're talking here about the big questions, our destiny, for lack of a better word, right? We all know the destiny. We're all born to die.
Not to use the Shapiro term, you're strawmanning me a little bit. I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm not saying that, like, fuck religion and all that. Like, I'm empathetic towards religious people, but my only issue is that when you make it sound like have so much more solid grounding than you actually do to make the claim. I don't. No, but
we're not. That's you're strawmanning me. We're just having a conversation about whether or not there's a soul and these bigger topics like consciousness. And you don't seem very high in openness about just sort of exploring these possibilities, these sort of abstract topics. It's sort of just like, I'm empathetic to religious people.
That's also what I wanted to get to.
What does that sense have to do with anything? We're talking about like, whether there's a soul, and you're like, well, I'm empathetic to religious people. It's like, nigga, what does that have to do with anything?
It's like,
first of all, you're the one that opened with the fish crawling out of the water. Okay, so
these people will be open about like doing like psychedelics and like all this crazy shit to their brain, but like talk about big questions, talk about scripture, talk about meaning, talk about literature, and it's like all of a sudden this is like the forbidden fruit, and you don't want to go near it. It's almost kind of like they're creating a religion of sin.
That's well said. Yeah, you're hiding, Destiny. You're hiding. You're hiding, but we're all going to die, Destiny. Where do you think we go when we die? What do you think?
That's a terrifying question. Who knows?
What do you think? Are you being
Maybe
serious?
We'll wake up in 1,000 years when somebody realizes how to reconstruct our memories and we'll just be brains in some little computer program. Or maybe there's some other plane of existence we go to next. Who knows?
But do you think about it? Do you think about that at all?
Depends on what kind of drug I'm on at that particular point.
Oh, come on. You see, this is just such like there's just like this glibness. This is actually a very important question, I think. At least it's. I
don't think so. I don't think so. So I think that there are certain questions that are worth thinking about. Mm-hmm. I think that thinking about. I'm not attacking you. How old are you?
Me?
Yeah. Are you like 23? 23. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a site.
I'm
right?
17.
Yeah. You want to drag Mr. Girl in here?
No.
Okay. I think that there are. I think that there are things that are interesting thinking about for a time. But I think that there are topics that can take hold in an unhealthy manner and occupy too much of your thoughts. And I think that like death and stuff that exists outside of the boundaries of what can affect our life right now, I think sometimes people can get hung up on that. Even from a very secular point of view, sometimes people can get very much obsessed with the idea of like, what happens when I die? Am I going to be stuck somewhere forever, et cetera, et cetera? If you can draw some meaning out of that, and you think you can find a way to enrich your life by dwelling on that, I think that's okay. But I think we all know somebody that spent probably too much time stuck in like a black hole of being a little bit too fascinated with things or obsessed with things that are very much outside the boundaries of stuff that affects them. And then they get worried that like today's material life is ruined by some immaterial concept. I think that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but
that's necessarily what's happening to you.
Do you think time is better spent instead of dwelling on these like important questions? Is better spent playing video games?
Well, I don't think it's an important question.
Come on now.
If it's something that's enjoyable, whether it's rock climbing or video games or weightlifting, yeah, I think your time is better spent doing things that give you a real material benefit in the material world rather than being obsessed with like questions that I don't.
What's the benefit of playing video games instead of reading books like this?
It can make you happy. It can bring you joy. You can socialize with other people. I mean, it depends on what you play games for.
Yeah, but doesn't that, right? What's the benefit is just like a therapeutic kind of ideology, which is like,
yeah, but life is therapy, right? Why do we talk to friends? Why are we on political platforms chatting with each other and laughing?
My life isn't therapeutic.
Yeah,
my life is the opposite of therapeutic.
I think you have a lot of fun. I think you have a lot of fun on the day to day, probably more than most people.
I have a lot of fun because I love life.
Sure, exactly.
I know life is fleeting. And I like taking it to the edge. Okay, I'm fanatical. I'm extreme. I'm not about therapy. Okay,
I mean, you say that, but listen, you enjoy these programs. Oz enjoys streaming to 150 people. Like we've all got.
I'm like Taxi Driver or the Joker. I'm like the Joker, Destiny.
Yeah,
I've never been happy one day in my life. Everyone he kills his mom in that movie.
Oh,
but. Listen, that Joker. That's all. I speak for the Joker people of the world, And you're sort of like, well, you don't really fit into the bet. You're like just some NPC character, because there's like this good and evil battle, and Destiny's like, well, I just want to watch the next Marvel film. I'm kidding. It's just a joke. Take it easy.
I do think that sometimes there is it's funny because you accuse me of playing video games. But I think that my engagement with video games is a lot healthier than your guys' engagement with what I would consider a game. I think there's like a collective delusion, a game that we all play when Haas gets on his stream and he starts talking about like the neoliberal establishment and the new world order that's going to be created with the brown red revolution. Like everybody's in chat nodding along, having fun with this, but everybody knows it's bullshit. Everybody knows this isn't about to happen. Haas will be on his stream saying there's a revolution coming, within the year, within a month, it's going to happen. But everybody knows it's bullshit.
When did I say that?
So I think that you can look it up in the last debate we had. I was playing Dyson Sphere program, and I bet you something on whether or not there'd be a major U.S. revolution. I think within a year, and you're like, yeah,
I didn't say revolution. Wait, hold on.
You did.
Let's get the record straight.
I'm saying that like when people are doing this, like when people are doing
I actually wanted to bring this up. I forgot.
Let me finish my one point.
We actually bet money on this.
Insecure
back in December.
I know you're insecure because you haven't spoken for a long time.
All I did was ask you a simple question.
But I think that there is a collective delusion. Where
back in December, I asked you a really simple question. I said Destiny.
All of life's problems, and there's this one thing that we can point to that we can all kind of rally behind, and it gives us like purpose. It gives us meaning. But I don't think that's a healthy way to engage with the world. That's what I would say.
Yeah, but Destiny, if you actually remember our conversation, and I'm going to upload it to my channel because you were so fucking wrong. Is that I asked you, I said, look at the inflation crisis going on in the U.S. right now. Is this going to get worse next year, or is it going to get better? Is Biden going to get control over this? And actually, are we going to see results by next year that this is going to get better? And you said, and then I said, in the long term, years and years from now, there's going to be a serious political change. I never said revolution. I never used the words. I wasn't talking about a communist. I said a political. I said the collapse of the American political institutions, right? And then what you said was that, no, I think, next year Biden's going to get a control over the inflation and we're not going to see this world-changing crisis. It's going to change the system. And then, now it's kind of like you're in a pretty embarrassing position.
Is inflation mostly a central bank thing? What does Biden have to do with inflation? Most people don't know anything about macroeconomics.
Wait, but you said inflation's not going to get worse, and it did.
Oh, let's go!
Like I said that this inflation crisis was not a small thing. And it's going to snowball into something pretty big. And then you were like, no, it's a temporary thing just because of COVID, and it's going to get better.
And then NPR told me inflation
later. And we were supposed to bet money on this as well. And, I don't know, am I going to get that money?
It's not even worth anything anyway, right?
You might have to pay me in rubles now because
bitch.
Actually, remember? Wait,
all
Destiny,
about the rubles.
Oh, another thing. Destiny, do you remember when you told me when you were like mocking me because of how like much the ruble crashed? What about that now?
Yeah, bitch. All about the Yeltsins.
I don't think I ever.
It's all about the czar.
Weren't you talking about how the ruble's done?
I'm not getting baited into an econ convo.
The ruble's back. I don't know.
Yeah, Russia's economy is doing great.
It is
100% legitimate.
Yeah, it is. Hey, if you better not travel to Europe, you have to wear a coat because there's no heat, because there's no fucking gas. Because the West. Listen though. Hey, listen. We're having a serious conversation here. Destiny, your whole ideology. It's like so unsettling to me. Me and Haas, we're like real world, old world types where we're like gonna go. Haas is like a sultan. He's going to go and chop people's heads off with curved swords. He's wearing pointy shoes and, like real Aladdin stuff. And me, I'm like fight and die for the cause. And you're this guy where it's like, no, this don't bother me. I'm playing video games. That's not very healthy. That's not very healthy at all. I'm a well-adjusted guy. I get a lot of pleasure out of, fucking talking to people online and shit. I'm like, oh, fucking debunk that. That's why it does it. So it's like, dude, listen, man, I'm trying to grab you by the collar and say, hey, let's live your
I
life.
think that in order to be grabbed by the collar by either of you, I think you necessarily need a very weak mind.
Would have to cut
Like
your
I said,
house.
I think that for your guys' types of ideology, you're looking for people that are sad, lonely, depressed. They feel like they don't have purpose in life, and then you guys kind of give them a bigger mission to grab onto. It's kind of like
Wait, hold on, hold
Is
that.
like I think
like
that's the goal.
Stevie
Hold
The
that
dream is
thought.
the dream is to find somebody that feels like they have no purpose, no meaning in life, and rather than like helping them actually find it, you give them one through. Like
But wait.
well,
What's
radical
your
ideology?
Hold on, Destiny. What do you think
I'll let Haas go.
Yeah,
I'm the moderator here.
Yeah.
What do you think what do you think about the average DGG? Are those well-adjusted, happy, wholesome people? I mean, I kind of think
More
those are
so
people,
than like anybody in your audience. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think so. I've seen your people
Absolutely.
in person, Destiny. I don't think
You've
that's
seen
true.
what when you were meekly shaking their hands and smiling with them and asking for pictures?
Yeah, they were being polite. They were coming up to me, asking me for pictures.
And what a polite
autographs and
person
stuff.
is what? A sign of a weak person? Is that because you're an alpha male?
Look,
He is
all
an
I'm saying,
alpha.
look, Destiny.
Like just
all
what
He
you're
is
saying
an
right
alpha.
now. What you're saying right now is like so evidence of your lack of
I've
confidence, right?
seen
like that
my
idea that
people-
like I
hold
saw
on.
a person in real life, they walked up, they shook my hand. I knew that was a weak man.
Listen,
right?
Destiny,
What are you even
I've
saying
seen
right
and
now?
talked to
like
my
it's
people.
comically stupid.
Destiny, I've seen and talked to my people. I've seen and talked to your people. And with an army like that, I mean, wow, good luck.
So hang on. Ad-hom, red flag, throwing up a red flag. That's an ad-hom. That's a penalty. Listen, okay.
Moderator.
The question is, and I think this is where we're getting somewhere here. You say, well, and I hear this all the time from television. Oh, these extreme people, they're preying on the sort of lonely, disaffected, sad, whatever, and it's predatory. We hear this. But the question is, what exactly are we pulling them away from? You say purposeful, meaningful lives. You say they're living purposeful.
I never said that at all.
You literally just said that. Roll a tape, Brittany. I know we have
what
the
I
instant
said
replay.
what I said was that
software.
Okay. You're grabbing people
go.
that feel like they have no purpose.
Right.
And then you kind of try to give them one through whatever ideology.
What are we pulling them away? What are we pulling them away from?
You're not pulling them away from a life with purpose. You're finding people that necessarily have none. If they had a life with purpose, they wouldn't be pulled away into stuff like this, obviously, right? The issue is that people today aren't without purpose.
Do you
I think
hear
people
yourself?
largely
I think
people
hold on.
today largely feel like they have no purpose. I think that's a huge issue.
Wait,
today.
if you
I'm not gonna
look
disagree
at
with
this from Plato's perspective, being a part of a republic is part of being a human being. So of
that.
course,
You're talking like you
people-
just ate some Play-Doh. What are you talking about? Dude?
People need to care about politics and they need to care about big causes because that's part of being what a
No,
human
they don't,
being is.
dude. Most people
You
don't
can't-
talk
well-
about politics or big causes. They just want to see their family. They want to go have fun on Friday night. They want to work.
Well, I think I agree with the family thing, but you can't have families in this day and age because BlackRock's buying up all the houses and
BlackRock,
people-
dude. Institutional investors
people-
own 2% of all the property.
BlackRock, is that
Right?
some kind of rock and roll band or something?
I'm just
All I
saying,
know is
it's,
I'm pretty
it's,
sure
it's
there's
hard
a
for
bunch of
people
people
to
with,
start.
Stein in
It's
the
hard
last
for
name
people
on
to
it,
start
you know?
families now, and that's a political issue. So why wouldn't people,
You-
care about that? It's hard to start families now. I agree. I want people to be able to live normal lives and not have to care about ideology and politics all the time. The reason people are starting to have to do that is because they can't do that because of the status quo and establishment preventing them from.
Cool. There's a lot of reasons why it's difficult to have kids today, but neither of you are offering solutions to that.
Oh,
Like-
me? Why are you dragging me into this? My
No, I was
solution-
talking about both of Haas's personalities. He's a kind of a schizo. Sorry, I'm sorry. if it
That's
sounded like I was
based.
referring
I'm
to my-
schizoid.
Yeah,
But this
are you?
is a spectrum of schizotypal. It's a schizophrenic.
That's good. There's a lot of neurodiversity on this panel. I like
That's
that.
so true. We're Destiny. You and I are both neurodivergent. We're like Joker and the
Absolutely
Riddler.
divergent.
I think-
We're
I
like
think
Joker and the Riddler.
This is how I would. This is how I would
You're like
characterize
Riddler.
Destiny's
Yeah.
ideology.
Like,
I think
well, which one
Destiny's
in
a
the
guy.
new movie or
I'm like Joker. Yeah.
I think Destiny's whole shtick is basically like to make excuses and apologetics for why things have to be the way they are.
oh,
He's
absolutely.
like a caged animal. Destiny, we got to reach in there and
I'm
we
like
got to
if
take some
Kamala
super
Harris,
male vitality or something.
Hillary Clinton, and some
They-
focus panel decided to create a streamer.
You gotta drink some bone broth.
I'm what would come out of the end of that.
You got to
project,
find your
basically,
inner
you know?
caveman, Destiny. You're
Yeah.
you're this over socialized sort of therapy victim. It's like, would you die for anything? What would you die for? Would you die for anything?
Probably family, maybe friends.
You would die for your family.
For my family, for my son, yeah. And then maybe,
Okay.
I think that if my country were invaded, I think there'd be a lot of people that would want to do something about it.
You would
Would
die
I die
for your
for my
country.
country over in like fucking Iraq or some shit? Fuck no. But
Why
if
would
there
you?
were
Why would you die for your country?
I mean, I think we have some attachment. We spent our whole lives here, right? You know, the people here, like, yeah, I think people would have some attachment to it. I think I would. As much as I don't feel like I would right now, I feel like I probably would. If somebody came invading, if there were ships on our shore, yeah, fucking sign me up. Why not?
Because your country means something to you. Your country and your family are meaningful to you. Why is your country meaningful to you? Why is your family meaningful to you?
You get a lot of anything that's proximal to you in time and space is going to have meaning to you. If you spend your whole life in a given country, if you know a lot of people in an area, of course you're going to grow some allegiance.
Why? Proximal. What about
human
about
behavior?
that
You just,
microphone?
anything you're near to.
Aren't you from conservative Nebraska, a place you now forsake and, you know, like completely are against, and you know, you're now adopted the liberal.
Are against. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it seems like you kind of ran away from your roots instead of.
Do you think you have to live in the same city your entire life?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're obviously a very different person now. You're a kind of full liberal.
Yeah, I would hope I'm a.
You don't have any of the same values.
He's in his ancestral homeland. He's in Miami, which is where his ancestors are from.
My Mario boat lift. All of my hermanos are coming over here.
He's returning. Yeah. His blood remembers.
I'm getting closer and closer every day to my native homelands. Okay?
That's right.
One day I'll be back every Saturday. One day I'm going to be working my way back there. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, his blood remembers. Well, Destiny, so again, why is your family meaningful to you because of proximity, or is there something more there? Why?
I mean, there's some. I mean, I don't know. There's a feeling when you have a family that I don't know. There's a really big, basic. I guess I'd call it biological drive or whatever, emotional drive there. Yeah.
And do you think that this is just a sort of chemical function, chemical mechanism?
As a materialist, I would. Do you think it's the spooky guy in the sky making me feel that way?
Yes, I think it's called love. I think it's called love. And I think the love is immaterial. And I also think it's more than chemical, you know, not just like romantic love, but this sort of this attraction, not in a like I like you type of way, but like this sort of attraction, this sort of wanting the good, the benefit of the other. You know, wouldn't you say that it's really more something like that for your son and maybe for your country than it is just like, well, my lizard brain tells me that I need to raise this son so I could live a year longer, right? I mean, wouldn't you say it's something more like that, the former?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I understand you would, but that's not how I feel about it.
Okay.
Well, it's almost like you're saying you don't really care about your son because for you, it's just like a completely contingent chemical. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you take enough psychedelics, maybe that chemical will go away, you know?
Maybe, dude.
Yeah, I just, that to me is just, I think that's really the divergence. I think that's, you know, if we could sort of isolate the divergence between Destiny and us, that's really the fundamental difference is the material versus immaterial, this sort of, you know, belief in the soul and belief in objective meaning versus this constructed meaning. I think that's really always been the big difference because only someone that doesn't believe in the soul and meaning would take this idea that it's just sort of about let's all just do what makes us feel comfortable and like do things that are sort of like fulfilling to us.
I feel like for somebody that gets so upset about people's engagement with theology, which I think is really sad. I think secular engagement with theology can be really bad, but religious people don't do themselves any favor. Like every time you summarize my position, it's been kind of like comically stupid, right? Like, oh, I think that there is just this hedonistic, and I just want to do whatever, and I get on Reddit and look at the studies. Like, I mean, like it's pretty silly. I mean, like, yeah, you can say that, but again, I can always repeat back to you a million times. I'm like, oh, well, you think.
Well, what are you saying then? What are you saying then? Where am I getting it wrong?
I don't think that there is an intrinsic purpose to life. I don't think that the universe has some purpose that we discover. Right. We're people. We have some limited lifespan that we're on Earth for. And I think it's up to us to discover what that meaning is. I think there are things that we enjoy doing. There are things that give us a sense of purpose. There are things that make us happy. It might be hobbies. It might be family. It might be our children. It might be our country. But I think it's our goal to find what those things are, protect those things, and then build those things. I think that's what we do as people.
Yeah, but why? Why would we do anything?
There doesn't have to be a why. There doesn't need to be a why for everything.
No,
there doesn't. Where?
Yes,
Show me
there
where.
does.
Why does there need to be a why?
Because
why does the Earth go around the sun?
Why
because
do you
just do. We are just because we're human. That's part of the human experience.
I think he's trying to say there is no reason, which is nihilism, right?
Why would you ever possibly think that you would need to speak for him and tell me what he's trying to say?
Well, because I mean, why are you?
I don't think that we need a reason. There doesn't have to be a reason for why we do the things.
I think he's a little upset,
right?
You
like,
do. You do need
I think as humans, we just do. Just like a rock rolls down a hill, just like the rain rains and the sun comes up and the moon comes up.
Yeah, but all that happens for a reason.
That's not good enough.
There's a why for that too, Destiny.
Well, when you discover the why, when you figure that out, let me know. When you can point to something more than words in a book that another guy wrote, let me know.
Where did those words come from?
Your mom.
Yeah.
Okay, epic. Okay, that was
epic Reddit.
First mom joke on
okay, yeah,
cozies.
that was base as fuck. But yeah, I mean, so you're not really saying anything different than what I'm saying. I mean, you're essentially a nihilist. You don't believe there's objective meaning in the world. You think that the meaning is projected or put on. It's constructed by man, and you think that, like you said, we just sort of do these things. You're not really interested in where we came from or where we're going or the sort of the why. You're just sort of interested in this.
We can be interested in the where. I just don't
things.
think that a why exists. Or if it does exist, I don't think we found it yet.
There has to be. There has to be a driver of
you
these
feel
things.
like
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
has to be. But that's great. I understand why you feel like there has to be. Humans feel that way sometimes. You're having a very human experience right now.
No, where does it come from?
It with you. I feel it. When bad things happen, we want to feel like there's a reason
you're
why.
being
when
glib.
good things. I'm not being glib.
Isn't that an inherently irrational
I'm
thing?
watching you have that experience as a human. You want.
I think it's pretty irrational.
You want to feel like
there's
there's a pattern. Like that's fine. I understand. I empathize, but I don't think you're dumb for it. I think it's totally normal. I just don't think that we've found it yet.
Here's what I have to say.
Wait, you just said you don't think we found it yet.
Yeah, if it exists, if there is some immaterial thing, or whatever, I don't think we found that particular thing. Or I haven't seen
it.
I think, yeah, what he's saying is like the mentality of a parasite. Like he does rely on a human society where people do have a sense of meaning, right? Where people do have a sense of a why, which is like the bedrock of how we have a minimally civilized society. It's what allows them to like live in peace and go walk outside on the street and shit and like live as a human being. And without that, I think you would like crumble and like kind of shrivel up and collapse into like, like a worm, basically. Like the only reason he's able to even live his life is because he takes for granted the fact that most people don't think like he does. But like, can you imagine a society of destinies? That'd be pretty fucking scary. I don't think I don't think that society would be able to like support the reproduction of human beings.
Well, it'd certainly be very high pitched. So there's sort of a buzzing noise and a lot of gaming. Gaming technology has never been more advanced than Destiny world. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just sort of disappointed about where this conversation always leads. It sort of strikes me as a defense mechanism. It's not to psychoanalyze you, but it just seems sort of like not intellectually curious and not intellectually serious. And it just seems sort of like evasive. And
I understand. Yeah, I guess I understand. If I say I'm going to get I want to pull some Vash philosophy terms here. If I say like meta ethics, normative ethics, applied ethics, does this mean anything to you? Like the three layers of ethical investigations. At the very top, we've got this like concept of meta ethics. Like, what is the nature of goodness? I feel like people that get high on their own farts will spend all day talking about this concept. But I'm more interested in like the more fundamental things. Not to say that you can't have like interesting discussions or debates about some of the like the very fundamental stuff. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's as important or as meaningful as the more kind of like on the ground conversations we can have.
Like what? How do you make the best hamburger? How do you make like healthcare get to people cheaper?
Exactly that. Yeah. What do we do about
the
housing crisis?
So it's not interesting. It's not interesting. Talking about death is not interesting. I'm far more interested in like heating and plumbing and.
I think there's a place for those conversations, but generally, like, it's not something I want to spend a lot of time on.
So speaking of that,
that's an evasion. That's okay. I just like don't want to think about that. Like,
never said I don't want to think about it.
You just said that.
I said it's a waste of time to spend all your
Speaking of those conversations, so if Destiny's whole purpose is to like influence on the ground things like policy, why is it that like when you canvass for mayors, they come publicly and disavow you? I mean, like. It doesn't really seem like you've made much progress in that regard. So I think, at least
that's not the area that I'm looking to make a lot of progress in, I guess, right? I do mainly online shit, just like you do, right?
What kind of progress are you
want to lead a revolution? Why do you
Factorial.
struggle so hard to get over 300 concurrent viewers, right? Listen, we're all on our journey. We're all trying to do what we're trying to do.
We're not on a journey. None of this means anything.
What journey are you on?
Well, right now I'm trying to beat Melania, the goddess of rot. In Elden Ring. That's the journey that I'm on right now. And it's an arduous one, okay?
Reddit niggas be
Yikes.
like,
So that's what you're saying.
Omega lol.
Yeah.
Omega lol.
So you're saying the video game journey
Nihilist
matters
destroys.
more than like asking fundamental questions about like what it means to be human and shit? Like, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that I'm 33 years old and I've spent a lot of time around people that smoke a lot of weed and sit around asking each other those questions all day. But once you get to a certain age, I think that you stop like dwelling on the like
Reddit niggas be like,
what is
death? Me and Haas are like, why do we die?
Like,
and Destiny's like, what is that guy smoking? I want to smoke that.
I think I'm good on those.
I'm ready to die for my race. I'll have what he's had. I'll smoke whatever that guy's on drugs. I want that drug. It's like this Mark Maron, like just total like libtarded zombie.
If we think about it, like, you know,
poison.
To be fair, I think it's interesting because from an anthropological perspective, it's interesting. There's never really been human beings that have existed like this. I mean, it's really
like
a very
There's never. I think this is the first time
fully evolved.
I think
now.
1980 is when secular people appeared on the face of the earth. It's insane. 10,000 years of human culture.
How did this specimen of what do we call them? Like Homo Reddit. What do we call this? You know,
Homo
faggot. Don't think. Okay, chill. Okay, don't
like,
think.
Let's go.
Where did
more? How about we say cuckolloids? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, where did this type of human being come from? Where it's like we don't care about any type of virtue. We don't care about serving our country or serving our religion or living for any reason at all. It's all for video games.
Where does that come from? Living for any reason that's outside of like some religious ideology? Is that really like how?
Yeah. Well, you have to admit that.
I feel like I'm arguing with religious people back from 2004.
Well, Destiny, you have to admit the type of person that you represent is very recent in human history.
I don't even know if that's true. What about the whole like Age of Enlightenment and reason and shit? Weren't people always trying to get away from religion for quite a while?
No, that was also very recent as well. And also,
I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't know if recent meant hundreds of years or dozens of years.
Well, I mean, depending on how long you think humans have been around, it's pretty recent, right?
Okay, sure.
But even then, though, the Enlightenment people, they were still. I mean, you look at Robespierre; he was willing to die for the Republic, die for the cause. You know, you chop off the counter-revolution. They still believed in something, and it's like it seems kind of like this total nihilism of like, yeah, I'm just gonna play video games and go on Reddit.
What do you think? So at the end of a conversation like this, where you guys have dwelled on the most fundamental issues of mankind, what progress have you made? What have you accomplished?
See, but that you're measuring this in sort of like material terms. I mean, if you're and the
question what have you accomplished immaterial?
What does that mean? What is an accomplishment? I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
I think we're participating.
What progress?
I'm not even
asking.
What do you mean?
You mean rearranging carbon atoms? Mean rearranging atoms that mean nothing?
Let's lower the temperature. I'm not even trying to be.
You're giving me. Hey, never tell a Groiper to calm down. All right, go ahead.
Lower the temperature. It's hot as an oven in here right now. Nick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's bring the real steamy.
Let's bring the temperature down a little bit. Okay. So let me ask this in a less inflammatory way. At the end of these types of conversations, like, how do you normally feel? Do you feel like spiritually enriched? Do you feel like you've made like?
It's not about that.
Well, what is it about? Tell me. I'm just. I'm asking. I'm legitimately asking.
It's about the truth. We want to know. We want to understand the nature of things.
Do you feel like you're getting closer to it by having these conversations?
Yes. It's even if it's not linear progress, we're sort of looking at the world, and there's a delight actually in pondering the nature of things, and everything that you see, systems and cause and effect. You get a little closer, you get a little shade of the truer nature of how things are working, and that.
So you think that by the end of maybe in 4 or 5 years after having had enough of these conversations, are you going to ever stumble upon this? I guess like your final answer.
You're missing the point. Human beings by nature are burdened with these questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take them for granted. You can't take any answer for granted.
You're choosing this burden. You're not.
No, I think you're choosing to shut yourself off from it.
No, you are choosing right now.
Ding ding. Yep.
Conversation. You're choosing to have this conversation. No one's forcing it.
I'm choosing to play Elden Ring.
Exactly.
I'm choosing to. Hello, milady.
So Destiny, what do you,
You know
think?
what?
In
I
terms
think
of
that
being,
you know
like,
what I think, Nick. I think that when you were 14, I think you played Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I think you got fucked.
I didn't.
Everybody
Yeah,
ruined
that's
you,
true.
and that's why you hate video games so much.
I don't hate video games.
That's
Look,
why you
I'm
hate
wearing
them.
an Avcraft
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
you hate them because you got crushed in video
Dude,
games.
I
can
love
feel it.
video
see it.
games.
Okay.
I'm wearing a Minecraft sweatshirt, bro. But you're right. I do suck at video games.
I think, okay, so let me break down Destiny's
But I love
worldview.
them.
Thank
For
you.
Destiny's
I love it when
worldview-
you talk about me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
So
here.
politics,
Make sure you talk at least twice in the explanation. Go ahead.
So Destiny's worldview is this:
Uh-huh.
politics and all worldly matters of administration, all that kind of stuff. That's just a kind of technology to augment our ability to play video games. Like, politics exists,
and Reddit, video games and Reddit.
It's all a machine and a system to allow us to further consume video games and Marvel movies and go on Reddit. And
thank you.
That's really the purpose
and
and ends of
sexual
life.
hedonism and be cucks. Don't forget that one thing.
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah,
but it is true.
So I think that's a pretty sad life.
Okay.
I really pity that, honestly.
He's Destiny. We're just trying to help you, bro. We're just trying to fulfill your destiny, so to speak. Yes, it's so funny. Your name is Destiny, and Destiny implies
right?
Destiny. Where does that come from, by the way? When
I was
the
12
girl's
years
name.
old, I needed a name for video games actually, and I settled on Neo Destiny because I thought they sounded cool. It's like cool words.
Well, it's sort of interesting because destiny implies like a fate,
Greater plan.
Yes, exactly. A
Nothing's by
destination arrives, a fated destination you're marching towards, and yet you seem to be without. Your destiny is what? Feel good. Do something productive for
Get
our
a high
lives.
score on a video game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beat the fucking video
Beat the
game
Elden
boss.
Ring, beat the
beat
fun,
Bowser.
save princess. Yeah,
Play your little Mario game. Your little.
Wait. I think
do you measure your life in points?
Yeah. Wait. I don't think we should grant the hedonist this idea. Like, oh, it's just happiness. Why does it make you happy? I think video games are a form of copium. I think they allow you to run away from real world human questions and problems. I don't.
Absolutely.
It's not just raw and distilled happiness.
Here's an honest question. I'm curious for the wait. Are you in your 30s yet?
No.
Based Zoomer. Wait, how old are you, Haas?
25.
Really? Oh shit.
Kind of millennial-ish. I guess Zoomer.
Okay, so I've done a decent amount of drugs. I've talked to a fair bit of people, had a fair bit of conversations, personally, privately, publicly. Do you think there's anything that you two could say about death or purpose or meaning in life that I haven't heard at least 10 times over already?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's about novelty, though, actually.
To some extent it is, right? Because if you're having these conversations, if it's the same conversation every time, it's probably not a very
I think that one of Destiny's big issues is that there's this word people used to use called a Philistine. A Philistine is the type of person that, like, they don't care about literary concern. They don't care about, philosophy. They don't care about any of that kind of stuff. They're just kind of like,
he's a musical artist. He's a musical artist.
Yeah, I don't even know. And we've done a decent amount of philosophy. I don't know what you're even talking about.
Is he an artist?
He's musically inclined.
What works of music have you produced?
This is my favorite song right here. Ready?
Omega LOL trolled. Let's go, band kid. Well, where'd you go find that, son? Let's go. That was awesome.
Did you like that composition? It's in C.
Yeah, that's really
classic.
Instant class. Clip that. Post that on TikTok.
Did you say band kid?
Yeah, literal band kid Reddit dude. And these niggas
that's on the
niggas
fucking
eat
nose.
this shit up like fucking.
That's
cram.
really on the nose.
Well, come on, man.
Wait, do you do any art, Haas? How can you accuse me when I at least am musically inclined? You don't do anything with art. How can you
think about Mozart?
I've been
Mozart
a writer before I streamed. I was a writer.
What's interesting to you? What's interesting to you? What's interesting music?
What, musically? Yeah. I like music with lots of extensions. Those types of harmonies sound cool to me.
Like what?
It could be in jazzy songs. It could be, do you want groups? Do you want chords? Do you want progression? Like, what do you want to hear?
A musical piece, an artist.
So there are two, in terms of higher level stuff that I would enjoy, that I recommend everybody check out. There are two groups. One is called Snarky Puppy, and another is called Bad Bad Not Good. They do kind of like newer, more contemporary jazzy stuff. I think those dudes are super cool. I like both of those groups a lot. I also like a lot of like kind of like proggy rock, mathy rock.
You like Wagner?
No.
Dude, Haas is so fucking based.
Not much. Do you wait? Hold on.
Great.
When you guys say stuff like this, right? Like, do you know you don't actually listen to this in your free time, right?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yes, I have. Yes, I
Haas,
do.
can you name me two pieces by Wagner?
Yes. Well,
Owned.
Okay, like, do you see what I'm saying? Do you see? It's like a collective fiction.
Hold on. There's
right?
the famous one, Ride of the Valkyries, that everyone knows about.
Sure. Do you know if that's the name of the piece?
I'm just I'm not saying like I listen to that in my free time. I'm just asking. I'm just.
Sure, I know. I'm just saying, but like, there's this thing where like people like
the ring contains many pieces in it. So would the ring constitute like an entire piece, or do you want like, what do you mean by that?
People like to pretend, right, that they have. It's so strange because I know this a lot because I went to college for music, right? So I see this, right? Yeah. It's funny when you look at people's engagement with classical music, they feel like they have to love it because it's culture, and then when you ask people about it, they feel bad if they don't. They're like, "Oh my god!"
Not saying that.
I don't know. No, I know you're not, but it's funny that Haas tried to like, "Oh, Wagner, Ride of the Valkyries." I saw a Looney Tunes cartoon once. Like, come on, man, really?
No, you asked me for. There's. What do you like? What do you mean?
You don't listen to this in your free time. It's fun.
Yes, I do.
Right?
Yes, I do.
No, that's okay. Can you name me a few like romantic era composers that you like? Do you know any of these guys?
Beethoven and Mozart are romantic.
Okay, Mozart is classical. Beethoven was late era, got romantic.
Oh yeah. Right? You're right. Beethoven was romantic.
Right.
What about Tchaikovsky? Do you know any like impressionist people? I know this because I studied it, right? But like, at least I don't pretend to like it. I'll tell you.
I'm not a music theorist. I'm not a music.
It's not about theorists. You don't know the people that you claim to like worship, right?
I like Wagner's play, right? But his pieces like Parsifal and
Oh, now that you've had time,
I studied the life of Pablo in college.
Oh, also, nice. Not a good album.
That's part of the play, you know.
Okay, filter moment. Filter. You don't like Life of Pablo?
Everything after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is hot trash. I'm sorry. That's actually if you like the Life of Pablo, then I know that you have bad taste in music. I think that's
literally opposite.
That's literally all I needed to hear from you. But
yeah, likewise. Friendship over. Friendship ruined. Never talking to you
Which
again.
Life of Pablo did you like? Was it like the 15th time he released the album, or like the 7th time he released it? Or
that's actually that's a veiled way of saying the N-word. When he's saying he's late because he's black.
I never said he was late. He actually was on time. Like
that's
15
another way of saying
the album over
black. It's another way of saying the N-word, frankly.
So you like this these new jazz artists? That's what you said?
Yeah, sure.
What else do you like?
There's just certain musical sounds I like. Do you want me to like name every band that I like, or what do you mean? There's
name
music that I listened to in high school that I
like.
like just because it brings back like certain memories.
You like music?
Older stuff? Yeah.
Name every band.
In the car.
What do I listen? It super depends on my mood. If I listen to shit I listened to in high school, it might be stuff like Blink 182.
He can't even answer a question.
You like Blink 182?
Yeah, stuff I listened to growing up in high school. 311.
You like that band?
Yeah, I do. I have to. I grew up with it. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm embarrassed to say it, but yeah, Linkin Park, Trapped, fucking Sum 41, all these groups. Yeah, Breaking Benjamin, of course. Yeah, of course you do. Listen, because that's not your music, son. All right.
True.
You were in first grade. Okay?
Listen up,
you're not allowed to say it sucks. That's what you're.
Trash.
Older brothers will listen to you. Brittany knows what I'm talking about. Okay,
it's true. We like Chris Brown and 50 Cent.
I told you an old man.
You guys are. You guys
Kanye
listen to
West.
Different shit. All right.
Yeah, Blink 182 is pussy worship. Fucking millennial trash.
Jesus.
Yeah,
you weren't even around for the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys debates, man.
That's true. Justin Bieber's red pilled Aryan race soldier for our cause. Justin Bieber kicked Justin Timberlake's ass, and you know it. Everyone knows it.
Yeah. What, is there anything else you wanted to quiz me on, Haas, or are you okay over there? Googling? It feels like you're Googling shit to try to quiz me on something.
My hands have been free. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your eyes are going back and forth across the screen like you're on fucking meth. Trust me, I would know.
Because okay. So you're very psychoanalytic. I can see that. But
a basic observation.
What kind of
I'm penetrating you right now?
What like popular music do you like? Like pop music?
Yeah.
I don't listen to much like radio stuff because I'm not in my car listening to the radio. I don't know if I like a lot of this. Sounds like so corny, but like there are like certain sounds that show up in pop a lot, and I don't like a lot of those types of sounds. But there are some mainstream guys that like the type of music that Drake makes. I like his beats, so I'll listen to like a lot of stuff by Drake. Oh fuck. Oh my god, who he had a feature with Lil Wayne. Who am I thinking of, guys?
Who had a feature with Lil Wayne?
Call Me If You Get Lost is the album. Oh, Tyler the Creator. I really like his music. Not always his rapping, but Tyler's a really sick dude. I've listened to some Billie Eilish. I like the types of songs she makes sometimes.
So you're a devil worshiper. You like Billie Eilish and Drake, literal. There's probably some like frequency thing. He's like getting the demonic frequency. Kanye puts out a godlike frequency, which is why me and Haas pick up on it. And
J. Cole, I like. Drake. Does that count? There you go.
It's emanating from some kind of a period. Yeah, J. Cole's a corny gay nigga and sucks. Demonic frequency. Drake, Jewish pedophile. Billie Eilish, man-hating, demon, devil worshiper. Am
I okay? Do I need any more, Haas, or are you?
You're a devil worshiper.
You okay over there?
Am I okay? What do you mean?
I feel like I'm on trial for my taste in music.
So I just want to. It allows me to like build a psychological profile of you.
Do you think that's how that works? Do you think you can build a psychological profile of somebody based on the type of music they like? When you don't even have like a theoretical understanding of how the music works?
I think it adds to the puzzle.
Okay. We got you figured out, pal. We got you all figured out. We've seen your type before.
But I feel like my conclusion is I just think Destiny's corny. I think he's a corny boomer kind of 33-year-old. And
it's true.
It's like for somebody who's trying to be like, oh yeah, religion, all this stuff's a waste of time. I just like to make.
When did I ever say that? Happy. Did I ever say religion was a waste?
It's like
of time?
whatever you said, and then now you're like, oh, I just like being.
Yeah, more time playing video games, right?
Yeah, and then it's like
bitch.
when I actually like quiz you on
over there playing something. Yeah.
And then when you actually get quizzed on your real taste, it's like corny. It's like you're like a weird guy. Like I don't know. I feel like you don't. Weird. I feel like. What do you think about this, Nick? Don't you think that on some level, like in order to be, I think based is where having traditional values and being cool coalesce. And I think at a certain level, you can't have good taste, even at the level of like what normies like, if you're like Destiny. You just can't have good judgment or good taste, whether that means judging physical attractiveness and beauty.
What is it? Art, what do you listen to? What is your contemporary art?
Yeah, what do you like, Haas?
Yeah.
I do agree with Nick that Kanye is the vanguard of pop.
Let's go! Yeah. I love this guy.
What's your favorite Kanye album?
Graduation, is that the one with Stronger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fake fan. Is that the one with Stronger?
And then my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. I think those two is the ones I hold up the most.
Why do you think those are the best?
I kind of have this theory about music where pop music starts to like 2016 it was 80s, right? And then it was 90s. And I always like to be ahead of the game. So I'm looking at the 2000s and like late 2000s and that specific vibe, like, an Escalade with rims and shit, that kind of vibe, ice cold. And to me, Graduation just reminds me of that. Like I grew up with that. And
an Escalade with rims, that's what Graduation reminds you of?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what were we saying before? I think the real divide is between.
Wait, have you actually listened to this album?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't. Haas, you're a fake Mozart fan and a fake Kanye fan.
What
do you listen to?
This is what I was saying earlier, right? How like nothing about you is real. It's funny because not you, Nick. Well, maybe you, but I'm focusing on Haas.
I'm a real human being.
What are you confused about? What are you so confused about?
You have this like you're like a creation of something of yourself. Or like the thing that I'm talking to, there must be like some anime where people project their own like fucking avatars and go to fight each other. Somebody can think of some anime reference where there's a thing. But like, I'm not actually talking to.
Right, wait, are you saying I'm lying about the Kanye thing? Because that's on public record.
I'm saying that you're projecting an image, and that image even includes like media.
Wait, but there's literally videos on YouTube where I gave a lecture about Kanye West like a year ago. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Like, when I say the Escalade with rims, I'm talking about a vibe of ice cold. I'm talking about like, Like I can't explain it. It's like it's an intuitive type of thing. Like the late 2000s had a very specific vibe where it was like, so the 90s were about like the rebirth. 80s was about the darkness. It was night. 90s was about rebirth, the morning. And the 2000s was about, this shit sounds schizo as fuck, but it's like it's artist shit, right? The 2000s were kind of like this crazy hyper reality, Y2K, whatever, this new
feel
era.
Like the weed, Nick. That's what I'm talking about.
And then the two, I mean, I don't know. If you ask me why I like an album the most, it's gonna sound schizo, right? I don't know how to explain.
Not really. I think there are good reasons to. I really like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think it's a really good album.
Why? Okay, go ahead.
I like that album because there were two things that happened. One, I think it was the ultimate evolution of Kanye West's style. The taking of like the sped up vocal samples, the awesome fucking features, all of this combined with the thing that he's rapping about so much, and I think it's epitomized on the track Runaway. It is the perfect apex of not only his talent as an artist, but his arrogance as a person and his self-awareness of that arrogance. That's why I love that album so much, because it's Kanye at his best and his
You don't
worst,
think it was about the media?
He's spitting.
That's why I like that album so much.
You don't think that
really
album was about his public image in media and how he was dealing with that?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, it's how he deals with his public image and how it's larger than life and how he lives into it.
Yeah, but for me, Graduation was different from that, and it was like a form of like there was no self-reflection or self-awareness. It was just a one-sided sense of power, and that's what I liked about it.
I mean, I don't know if I feel like there were a lot of like chill tracks on that. You had I think Big Brother was about Jay-Z, right? Acknowledging like how Jay-Z was like so helpful with him up and coming. You had the track Homecoming, which was like really chill. Flashing Lights was a cool.
Yeah, it was chill,
like Stronger is like
the
song that everybody knows about.
It was also unapologetic.
I guess I don't know if I felt that much from Graduation, but maybe listen, if that's your taste.
Well, Kanye says about Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy that's not his favorite album that he's made, because he said that in some of the songs he's conforming to sort of like popular taste, like on Power, it's like more conventional sound. He also said that Runaway is sort of like an apology for who he is, because of the Taylor Swift thing. It was sort of like a public apology, like a reconciliation with the public. So there's some truth in the fact that, Graduation was like the height of the exuberance of the trilogy, right? Because then you get 808s, right? Mom dies, the engagement falls through, and you get this sort of sad Kanye. His wife's calling.
Or the wife's boyfriend, maybe.
You're relentless. He's just relentless. I see what Haas
he has a lot of sexual insecurity, so he feels like if he keeps hitting it on me, eventually I'm going to crack. But
that's an alpha male you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking.
That's straight up. I mean, alpha, bona fide.
Absolutely. I don't have to be
Sigma Chad male. Muslim.
Why do you guys notice like cucks are always like, oh, I'm so secure, I let my wife fuck other men. It's like.
They do say that.
Maybe you should be a little insecure.
I think you're 2 cuck jokes away from crushing me, Haas. You're almost like 10 more minutes in this conversation. Yeah, I know you didn't make any progress the last time, but this time you'll.
Yeah, but it is a thing though. Are you not a cuck? You don't have to. I'm here.
If I was a cuck, I'd say I don't give a fuck about being.
Okay, are you not one?
No. Do you know what a cuck is?
Wait, okay. How are you not a cuck?
Can you tell me what a cuck is, or is this going to be like Wagner, where you don't know?
Who lets their
that's not what a cuck is. That's not.
Okay. What's a cuck?
I'm not going to tell you. Go Google it. Check your porn history. I'm sure you've
looked up a lot of porn before. Explain it. Educate us. I'm a normal guy. I think what you do that's a cuck, but maybe you can educate me. Educate us.
I'm not here to. I don't want to talk with you about sex. Okay. I'm.
So you're a cuck.
Go look it up later, and then you can come back to the conversation more prepared. Okay?
All right.
You can go look up.
Come on, dude.
You're listening to Graduation again and try to remember one song besides "Stronger" from the album, and you can do that too. Okay.
That's a valid point. Can you name one other song from Graduation other than "Stronger"? I'm going to hold you to that one. Okay. Yeah. As a moderator, I have to hold you to that.
The one that talks about Lake Michigan, where I'm from, Homecoming.
That's so disrespectful. It's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's just Homecoming. It's about Chicago, okay? It's about Chicago.
No, it talks about Lake Michigan.
Yeah, on Chicago. Yeah, fuck. Chicago is on Lake Michigan.
All right, okay, whatever. Okay.
Fireworks on Lake Michigan.
Oh, whatever. I'm from Michigan, and that's what it reminds me.
But it's okay. I understand it. I guess you guys have to play your parts.
Yeah.
You're one of those Muslims taking over Dearborn, aren't you? Fucking Arabs taking over Dearborn, Michigan.
Sure. Yeah, we're bringing Sharia anytime soon.
Dog's a Muslim call to prayer. Just admit it. I'm kidding, of course, but this has been this is a very productive. At the end of this conversation, I asked myself, "Was this productive? Was this a productive?" And my life, my life is way better now. I have two.
Good. I'm glad you have a way by which you.
So
I want to ask.
I'm glad you get a new tool to make sure that you're having a conversation.
What do you think about this? Because this was my observation. You notice with religious artists, right? Is they usually had a hard time being cool for a long time, right? They had a hard time being tasteful. And to me, the real significance of Kanye is that he's able to combine the religious thing with the tastefulness thing, right?
I also heard the track Jesus Walks. Yes, I liked it. It was good, Haas. Thank you.
I think Haas talking about Donda and Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, why? I don't. To be clear, I'm not an expert on Kanye. I'm not trying to posture as
bro. You're not an expert on anything. Okay,
he's an expert on communism.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
the one thing that has no material relation to anything in the fucking real world. That's
so wait, Destiny, what are you an expert on?
I like to think I know a bit about music, but I mean,
musical expert.
You would consider
Factorio,
yourself a music...
League of Legends.
So wait, you're a music expert who can't produce any music.
I mean, not everybody does music production. I know a lot of theory. I can make stuff up. I do improvisation, but
can you make one piece of art that's worth anything?
How?
Can you produce?
Oh wait, hold on.
All you do is
that
analyze.
question is stupid on like 3 different levels.
So why don't you put your money where your mouth is? If you're a music theorist,
well, yeah, I do. I have good music.
What do you think?
Hold on. There is no. You can't say there's objectively good. That's not how any art works.
We'll just try at least. Okay, make music that you
number one. Yeah, can I
make music that reflects your knowledge of music?
So you're so scared of getting an answer that you have to keep rambling. Let me know when you're ready for me to answer.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So every now and then I have these little challenges with my community where I write a little song and then my community reorganizes it or rearranges it into other songs called my composition challenges. I've already done 10 of these. So if you want like some basis to look at musical stuff for my community or for me, you can go check out that, I guess.
Kind of gay. Hey everybody, what's up? Here's everyone edit this piece of music.
Oh, and here we have Exhibit A for why conservatives lost the culture war.
Wait,
we're not doing little music competitions.
Hold on. Wait, give me a second. You're saying that you don't make any music, you have your community make it for you?
No, I make a song and then they expand on the song.
So why can't you just make a good piece of music?
Because I don't like to compose full pieces. It's not a desire of mine.
So how can we know you know anything about music if you can't make any good music?
Do you think that you can't have an understanding of like the theory of something at all unless you
if you don't put it into practice? I don't know.
Put it into practice how though?
I'm a practice oriented guy, you know.
No, hold on. You're not a practicing guy because you can't practice anything, Haas. You have no artistic merit in anything, right? You don't have any accomplishments, any achievements at all.
See,
you're a law school dropout, right? So what do you mean you're a practice-oriented guy? What do you practice?
Everything you just said is so wrong, and I just look at you believing.
Wait, name one thing that I just said that was wrong.
I'm not a law school dropout. Hold on, I'm not a law school dropout. I have produced things before.
Wait, what? So are you going to finish law school then?
Yeah, I may. I actually.
Okay, so you're a law school dropout. One. That's fine. I'm a music school.
I'm still in law school.
It's okay.
I'm literally still in law school.
I'm a music. You're not in law school. I'm a music.
Yes,
school
I
dropout.
am. Hold on. I am still enrolled in law school.
Enrolled.
I would hire you as my lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, like, what?
You know what, Nick? That's very Trumpian of you. He can be your Giuliani, okay?
Yeah, I'll pay him in rubles. And
there you go. Yeah,
he'll represent me against the CIA.
Destiny, it's like you say things
what
that
have
are
you produced? What have you produced of value, Haas? Haas, what have you produced of value?
I've written books,
whole books, really. Yeah. What's the title of one?
I've written a book about Islam.
Okay,
based.
Nick, what do you think about that? How do you think his book
Islam?
is? I'm curious. Well, no, what do you think? What do you think his books? Do you think it's well written?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I have. Hold on, I have a Substack where I write like smaller articles that are pretty big.
Smaller articles.
They're not book length,
where's your book at? Who published it?
It's proof that I can write a book. I mean, I have a Substack.
Do you think you've written more on your Substack than I've written on my Reddit account?
I think I've probably written more than you. I mean, one of my books.
Can you link me your Substack?
Where do you want me to link it?
Look at, in the chat, in the StreamYard chat. I'd like to see the Substack too.
Yeah, I'm super curious. We need an evaluation right now. I'm going to see if it looks more like the life of Pablo or a graduation. Okay,
oh, yeah. Is it a masterpiece or a masterpiece? Is it a 10 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10?
So here it is.
Destiny didn't like it because he has like Father Stretch My Hands because he's not religious. That's why. Life of Pablo is too chaotic for Destiny. Destiny likes everything.
Wait, Destiny, if I...
Okay, so we have a Substack with 4 articles on it. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, Destiny, I have unpublished books. If I give them to you, will you give me $10,000?
Why would I care about your unpublished book? I have unpublished stuff.
Wait, because you're saying I've never done or produced anything.
So if you're wrong, would you put money behind that? You have a Substack with 3 articles on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just telling you it's proof that I can write.
I mean, I graduated high school. I can write.
What? Okay, why don't you okay, can you write with the same level of knowledge and whatever that I have and like the
knowledge and whatever?
Yeah, read the democracy one and tell me you can I want to quiz you on it. Read it and then
my guess is that it's probably going to be a whole bunch of like empty bullshit just like when you speak. So I don't want to read your fucking writing. Hell no. But I write manifestos. That's what I'm known for. I'm the manifesto writer.
It kind of sounds like a bluff to me. It's like you say it's empty bullshit, but
sounds like you can't read.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me. Why don't you prove you can read?
Oh shit!
Go ahead, read the first 3 sentences. Let's sound it out. Try and sound it out.
I gotta call my Swedish wife.
Yeah, Destiny. Like I said, you claim to be an expert in music, but you've never produced any.
Composition is just one part of music.
Yeah, but you've never done anything productive in your whole life.
What does productive mean to you?
You've never produced anything of value in your whole life.
What is value? What? How can you even say that? Do you understand how stupid that is, right?
No, I don't. I don't think
you're making it's not. I'm trying to be.
I don't think you've ever demonstrated any like skill beyond video games. Am I wrong?
I think I've demonstrated an adequate understanding of music, more so than 99% of the population.
Then can you make a good piece of music then?
I guess if I were to download a program and start sketching stuff out, yeah, I could write a piece. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you should do that. We want to listen to the Destiny song. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can link you pieces I've played with friends in the past. We
want an original composition due on Friday.
Yeah, wait. Link me one of your music pieces. I want to hear it.
I can already tell you what you're going to say. Oh, this is elementary. I can tell it's a soulless neoliberal establishment.
No, just do it. Just do it. Why are you? I linked you my stuff. Do it.
I usually just do improvisation with friends. So we just make stuff up and we.
All right, I just want to listen to it. Can I listen to it?
We have a jam session. Should have a jam set. We smoke a lot of pot, and we have like a jam session.
Exactly.
And then we all have hedonistic sex.
I hope you.
Let me.
Is this your song?
It's not my song. It's made up. It's just an improvisational session. There's not.
Wait, you're not going to take responsibility for this before I listen to it?
You don't.
Is that you?
It's just made up. It's not like a formal composition.
Because you've never made anything yourself.
I mean, that's made. It's a piece that's made. You just don't understand what you're talking about.
So can you give me something you can take responsibility for and I can judge it?
I'll take responsibility for that. We made that, sure.
So who's we? Wait, we or you? I mean,
I made up the piano part, and the guy playing violin made.
All right, I'll judge the piano part. I'll judge the piano part.
I'm super excited. Okay.
Sounds a little chaotic.
Too many notes, right?
Yeah, too many notes. So true. That's so true. Yeah, it's too many notes. You should make a piece. You should write an opera about me. Well, you're a star.
It's not honestly. The compliment I'll give it is that it sounds like it'd be in a soundtrack for an 8-bit video game on Steam.
Thank you so much.
Owned. You'll never recover. You'll never recover from that. So. Oh, it's over for you, pal. It's over for you. Just your Tyrann army is in shambles. You're no Vespine gas left. It's just fucking over. Give up. Give up. No more minerals.
I guess that's it. You just watched a music school dropout get slaughtered by a law school dropout. That's it.
Slaughtered by a Zerg army.
What are you going to do?
Slaughtered by an army of Zerg.
An ex-Catholic slaughtered by a proud Muslim warrior invading Detroit, Chicago.
You just got suicide bombed. Basically. Hello.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is awesome. Then this is and now we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. This is your new home
Is that
forever.
purpose? That's meaning to you? Is the
No, this is your new prison. We've built a prison around you here on Cozy TV, and we'll all be doing this until we die. This is your new home. Well, welcome to Cozy.tv. No, I like it. I think this is a great dialogue we have. I think it's a very productive dialogue.
You really feel that way?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we're really getting somewhere.
Nick was a good moderator.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, I learned from the best, which is not you, of course.
No, it's definitely not me.
Ethan Ralph.
It's definitely not me. I'm the worst moderator ever.
You're great. You're fine. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, Brittany. Thanks. Britney Spears. You're like Britney Spears because she hates Jews now. No, kidding. Because she was cringe and then now she hates Jews. So you're like Britney Spears in that way. That's Thanks. A joke, of course. No one here hates Jews. We all love Jews.
Wait, I heard. Is there a second woman on the platform? Is that true?
Yeah, Lauren Witzke.
Oh my God, you really are a fake incel.
Oh,
Shut up!
Oh no!
Oh no! This I can't stand.
You're gonna get me kicked off, Destiny. What are you doing?
That's it. Report the stream. That's it. Report the stream. That's a violation of our terms of service. Now you start yourself with 7 days suspension.
Destiny, when are you gonna do your first stream here?
I'm trying to beat Elden Ring right now. Okay, once I finish that game, we'll see what
yikes
in store for Destiny. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Reddit cringe nigga.
Yeah,
like
I think
Destiny. I just want to say it's so awesome that you say the N-word.
I don't really say the N-word that much, but I'm glad it makes you feel so good inside. I guess. Maybe is that your meaning? Is that which passage of the Bible is that one? Is that the 11th commandment?
Yep. Thou shalt name them. Thou shalt blast ends in the public square. It's sort of like, I'm sort of like going up to somebody and I'm like, you say the N-word. I like that. And Destiny's like, you're going to love me. You're going to love me.
Oh, you really are a living Joker, huh?
Yeah, I am like Joker. Thank you for the compliment. What do you think of the Dark Knight? Who do you identify with in the Dark Knight? Do you identify more with Batman or the Joker?
I don't think I identify with either. I think they're
knew it. You identify again with
they're very Marvel to me,
Yeah, so true. Yeah, no, it's true. So I just rewatched it the other day. It's pretty good film. Well, I got to. Oh, geez, it's 9:50. I got to start my show. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I got to start my America first. I got to start my show. I'm not even dressed.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, Haas. Welcome to the platform, Destiny. It's great to have you. Welcome, Brittany. You're doing great work already. Haas, you're welcome to stream here, of course. Just let me know.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Good talk. To have you here.
Good meeting you. Good talking.
Likewise. Yeah, great meeting you. You're a smart guy. And but you got to listen to more Kanye, man. We got to get those listens up. Got to get the listens up, all right?
More Wagner, too.
yeah, more Tannhauser, okay? Let's get those reps in. Get those reps in.
I agree. I think Wagner is very underrated.
Yeah. No, you're epic. My 3 new best friends.
Wow. Good stuff. Well, you're talking about Justin, right?
No, silly. I'm talking about you, Steven.
Well, I was worried about that Brittany thing. You are
my best friend.
You're gonna lose that incel.
Oh, and Brittany's she's a pal.
No, he was talking about the 3 people on top are best friends.
Yeah,
3 musketeers here,
including me. No, Brittany, you're a BFF.
No, thanks.
No way. And just got to get that burqa back on. Though.
I know. Yes.
Little.
I did wear the burqa.
Yeah.
Oh, you are wearing a very. Oh my God, is there like a dress code for women on the platform?
I'm like dying of heat, by the way, and I'm doing this for Cozy. I just hope you guys appreciate it because it's so hot.
Is she gonna be allowed to wear traditional movement or Brittany outfits when she's on here, Nick? Or?
I would never show any skin in this environment. They would crucify me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, careful.
They want me to wear gloves. They're telling me to wear gloves. They're getting mad about my hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's we're due for something like that, but
Dress
we'll
code.
see. We'll take it up with Michael Zimmerman. Take it up with Peter Thiel. Okay, he's really running the show here. I'm just a representative. But
Mhm.
all right, thanks guys. Great chat.
Amazing.
Love you all.
No,
Destiny, we're praying for your conversion, buddy. We're gonna red.
I honestly don't have high hopes. Maybe you can work something out with that, but from where I'm sitting,
come on now.
I don't know.
God does miracles. We're praying for Destiny. We're gonna red pill your ass.
I don't think that me and Haas can't occupy the same space for too much longer because he's going to lose a little bit of hair he's got left. So I'm going to be careful with that.
Hey,
Yeah,
stop bullying my other friend.
Wait, no. There's nothing on. As far as me losing hair, the thing is that it's better than losing my manhood and honor by letting my wife fuck other men. So
don't you think that you can kind of tell a person's manhood just by looking at how much hair they have, though? Like, women are going to look at you and just think, that guy is probably the kind of guy that lets his girlfriend have boyfriends. They're going to look at you and think that. They're going to look at me and they're going to think,
I don't know. I don't
that,
really think being bald is a very feminine trait.
You don't think? No, but going along with the rest of your body, right? Being short, having like softer skin. You don't think that like you come off as a little bit effeminate?
No, it's not been my experience.
You don't think so? You like the stroking of the face and everything. It's very like
but
I would say that like your mannerisms are like pretty.
Don't you kind of have gyno?
No, I don't. What do you think?
I think when I met you in person, I think you had gyno.
You really think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that you projecting onto me? Do you want to grab my chest? Is that like a big thing for you? Do you think about
my
boobs a
you
lot?
have
Nick? Or Haas?
Rape
Look,
gang. It's
Freddie,
one of those classic Michigan rape gangs.
Listen, Destiny. Do you consider yourself a masculine person yourself?
We weren't talking about my masculinity, and I am masculine. Look at all this fucking hair I got. I got hair for days.
Wait, women have hair. I don't know why that's masculine. I mean,
yeah, but you don't.
All right.
You're right. You're right. I have less
go.
hair than a woman.
Good luck.
On my
Good
head.
night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.